Yes, I am back. The champion is back, fighting for his people, the most beautiful people in the entire diaspora, the citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the most valiant, some of the most wisest elders you can find are in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You know what I mean? We are a unique people. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Vincentians. Do you know that St. Vincent was the last country in the modern world to be colonized? Do you know that? Do you know that St. Vincent and the Grenadines only experienced about 40 years of slavery? Did you know that? That is how valiant our foreparents was. And we are no less valiant. You understand? So let us discuss some important thing today. I sure you have read the caption of today's live video. Here comes a human. Anytime you're doing something, the human shows up. Huh. Yes, you've read the live video. I have proof, right? Mine Baba have shared. Mine Baba, I don't have to tell you to share, my friend. You always jump on the ball and you share because you know what I'm going to say is important. People, share this video. Share this video. Read the caption. And if you read the caption, it is something you must share because I have proof. Proof that Camillo Gonsalves have treated. My Baba share again that Camillo Gonsalves have treated the entire Vincentian population in the same manner he treated Yogi. Right? In the same manner he treated Yogi. On Monday he presented the estimate for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. Right? And I can bet, I didn't fact check anything, but I see two lies in this thing that we need to discuss. We need to discuss it because there are many people out there who are worried about their loved ones in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I bring to mind my friend Margot Harry. Margot Harry is upset about how things are happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines because she is concerned about her family and friends in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So while I talk here, I am just inviting some people to watch a video. I am happy that you all didn't watch yesterday's video in the number that I would like. I had a little technical difficulty yesterday, but that is all reserved today. So while I talk here, I'm sharing the video. People, if you're here with me, share the video. I am here to expose Camillo Gonsalves' a big, blatant lie. Right? And we will discuss this. And we'll discuss other things about what Camillo had presented in Parliament. Right? And you know what I was so shocked with? I thought I was the only person who was telling the government to retrofit a school to be used as an isolation or quarantine center for locals and for Vincentians who are returning home from overseas to avoid them spending all this money. I did not even know until I listened to Dr. Friday's presentation that Dr. Friday have been also presenting the same thing to the government. Tell them to use a school, put up some, he didn't say the same thing as I said, but means the same thing. He said use a school, put in some partition, put in some dividers, so that people who are laboratory confirmed COVID-19 positive can go there instead of going back to their community. But no, they didn't take my words. They didn't take Dr. Simone Keyser, the Chief Medical Officer, words. And they did not take the wise counsel of Dr. Friday, who also brought this to their attention. Because you see, it's only intelligent people who have foresights. The unintelligent cannot see ahead of their nose. You understand? They cannot evaluate a situation and say, well, you know what? This situation is going to escalate to this degree if actions in this manner is not taken. Okay, people, if you're here with me, Natasha Brown, happy Sabbath to you. Oh, you know, just share the video. Natasha have shared. Ezekiel Simmons have shared. Mine Baba has shared. Who else is online to me? Share this video. Let us share this video so that our people can get the information. Because let me tell you something, right? When you are in a relationship with someone, it is important that trust is the highlight of your relationship. That each people in that relationship can go to bed yes, he is walking his father's footsteps, can go to bed each night and know that their partner have their back, right? Behind me, you're seeing an A12 that's an A12 Blackbird. An A12 Blackbird, a fighter plane. It is the first plane that was made from predominantly titanium. Over there is the California Science Center, right? So that is the background. A A12 Blackbird, the first plane to be made predominantly from titanium. Good morning, my beautiful sister. How are you?
Hi, that's cute. What's that, camera?
Yes,
camera?
I'm.
Camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. Nice
Okay.
neighborhood for you, huh?
Uh-huh.
You like the neighborhood? Fresh air, huh?
It's all right, yeah.
Yes, it's a lot here. It's a lot.
All right.
That's cute. I like your little stand. Oh,
Thank you.
I thought you was on like a film doing your own filming.
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. So
Okay, now this is what happened, right?
oh.
When you are in a relationship, people share this video. If you just come on, share this video. When you are in a relationship, you want to know that your partner is always honest with you, because it will give you an idea of how much to invest in the relationship that you're in. Nice? Now, if your partner is not honest with you, it can cause a lot of grief, it can cause a lot of stresses, it can cause a lot of heartache, right? So honesty is paramount in a wholesome and healthy relationship, right? And everybody wants to know that their partners are being honest with them, right? I could tell you that Camillo Gonsalves and the Unity Labour Party have not been honest with the Vincentian public, right? They have not been honest. They have not been forthright, and they have not been speaking the truth as it relates to what is happening with the pandemic in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They have not been speaking the truth as to what is happening with the economy of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And they have not been speaking the truth as it's what been happening, right? With the monies that have been coming into St. Vincent and the Grenadines for pandemic relief from the United Kingdom, from the United Nations, from the United States, and from other factions that saw the need for small island economy like ours own to give them the help that is needed, right? And if Camillo is going to lie about something that is as simple as this, what else is he lying about? Let me bring it to your attention now. Listen carefully.
In the United States of America alone, over 400,000 people have died as a result of COVID.
When you hear the lie, tell me.
That's more than 3 times the number of people living here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. months after that declaration, we are grateful to Almighty God that we were blessed with such a lengthy period of low cases and no deaths. Tragically, 2 COVID-infected persons have also died here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Today, 10 months after that declaration, we are grateful to Almighty God that we were blessed with such a lengthy period of low cases and no deaths.
When you hear the light, tell me.
2 COVID-infected persons have also died here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Today, 10 months after that declaration, we are grateful to Almighty God that we were blessed with such a lengthy period of low cases and no deaths. Tragically, 2 COVID-infected persons have also died here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Today,
This is a minister of government, a man who have been entrusted. Deborah Bryan, we can hardly hear. Okay, let me play it back again.
10 months after that declaration, we are grateful to Almighty God that we were blessed with such a lengthy period of low cases and no deaths. Tragically, 2 COVID-infected persons have also died here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Vietnam to Korea, that have produced fewer casualties than the coronavirus. In the United States of America alone, over 400,000 people have died as a result of COVID. That's more than 3 times the number of people living here in St. Vincent.
Can you hear it now?
Tragically, 2 COVID-infected persons have also died here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Today, 10 months after that declaration, we are grateful to Almighty God that we were blessed with such a lengthy period of low cases.
Owen Richards, I see you got it. Owen Richards, I see you got it.
Also died here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Owen Richards, you have got it. What Camillo has saying, remember that this is a prepared speech. This is a speech that Camillo Gonsalves and the people in his ministry have took time to prepare, right? This is a speech that Camillo Gonsalves would have rehearsed over and over to ensure that when he is presenting it, he can present it with clarity and make himself look like a big shot and look good, right? In that speech, Camillo Gonsalves have clearly said, if you want to find it on Camillo's speech, it is 56 minutes 19 seconds. 56 minutes 19 seconds. Just fast forward that speech to 56 minutes 19 seconds, and you will hear Camillo Gonsalves say with his own mouth that unfortunately 2 people have died from COVID-19 in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Fast forward now. Fast forward to 2 hours and 32 minutes. Right? And play from there. And you will see Camillo says in his speech with his own words, he is thankful to Almighty God that for such a long period of low transmission and no deaths. No deaths. So the question we have to ask here is, what is the truth? Did we have 2 deaths prior to Camillo Gonsalves presenting the speech, or did we have no deaths from the COVID-19 pandemic? What is the truth? As I told you a little earlier, that when you are in a relationship with someone, it is critical that you and that person practice honesty if that relationship is to ever grow and becomes of anything substantial, anything of importance. So Deborah Bryan, you got it now, right? But here we see, he have come to the community. He asks for an opportunity to represent the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines as a politician. More lies upon my barber. He have asked the people for an opportunity to represent them and our country as a politician. He have pledged to be honest, he have pledged to be loyal, and he have pledged to work hard in the interests of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But yet, he cannot be forthcoming about a simple thing as to telling the people in plain, easy to understand languages whether or not St. Vincent and the Grenadines have experienced any deaths from the COVID-19. First, he said we had 2 deaths. Then later in his speech, he said we have no deaths. What is the reality? You cannot afford to be playing with people like this. I mean, I personally, everyone know I have my personal feeling about the pandemic, right? But there are people who don't feel like me, who don't see things like me, who don't understand like I understand, and are worried. So you cannot be telling people we have 2 deaths now in one speech, and later in the speech you tell them we have no deaths. Why this dishonesty? So it leaves us to ask, what about the other things in the budget that Camillo spoke about? How serious are we supposed to take these things, my barber? My barber, how serious are we supposed to take these things? Huh? If something and to have debts, you need to be forthright with the community, and you can't afford as an adult as you're correct. There's nothing that comes from these people mouth that are transparent. You cannot afford to lie about such simple, insignificant things. Why would you lie about something like that? It is either we have debts, or it's either we don't have debts. You cannot say in one speech that 2 people have died from corona infection, and in the same speech you are thanking the Almighty God that no one have died. What kind of thing is this? What kind of thing is this? Which is the truth? Were they declaring these people like Justina Pompey, who had sickle cell anemia, who had high blood pressure, who had diabetes and other ailments, and are we declaring this old elderly 80-year-old gentleman who may have died from natural causes as being dead from COVID-19? Are we lying to the people to scare them into taking the vaccine? Or is the reality that there are really deaths from COVID-19 in St. Vincent and the Grenadines? What is the reality? We cannot afford to tell these kind of lies, these simple lies, for absolutely no reason at all. It benefits no one.
10 months after that declaration, we are grateful to Almighty God that we were blessed with such a lengthy period of low cases and no deaths. Tragically, 2 COVID-infected persons have also died here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Today, 10 months after that declaration,
The minions will believe the lies.
we are grateful to Almighty God that we were blessed with such a
Natasha,
lengthy
you're
period
right.
of low cases.
Allah has no memory,
Tragically,
because this is not a day before, This is not like lies coming in 2 days, This is in the same speech that this guy was presenting to the nation. The same speech. In the same speech, he is giving you 2 set of facts that relates to the same thing. And the 2 set of facts do not harmonize. How is this possible? Why would you be lying to an entire nation? For what reason? What is there to be benefit from lying about such a simple thing? It is either one way or the other. It is either we have debts or we don't have debts. Why? Why? Now, nobody can trust you. Your wife can't trust you because you cheated on her with Yugi, a little girl who you think was more beautiful than your wife, more sexier than your wife. You understand? But you didn't want her because probably she's not in a class. Right? Most of the Vincentians community couldn't trust you. You're lucky the Mosa is not like man. Yeah, man, Bobby, you're lucky the Mosa is not like man. Most of the Vincentian community didn't trust you because you have proven to be a liar. And now, you have put yourself in a position, a situation, where even you are giving the members of your party, the elected members of your party, the grassroots members of your party, the people who believe in you, in your constituency, a reason never to trust you again. What? Tell me, Camillo. Somebody tell me, because I am not smart enough to understand these things. What was Camillo hoping to gain by such a blatant lie? What was he hoping to gain? Is he, what do you call it? What do you call those? We call these people who lie for absolutely no reason at all. Is this man is he a sick guy? Does he need psychological help? Huh? Why would he come and lie? What is there to be benefited from lying to the community? You cannot say that this was a mistake. You cannot say that this was a slip of the tongue. He was reading from a prepared speech. Monica Spikeman Brooker, nice to have you. He was reading from a prepared speech. A speech which he would have read over. Right? A speech which he would have practiced before he come and present it in the public domain. So therefore, if there was an error, he had people who would have, he didn't type that speech himself. He had people who would have typed that speech for him. He would have people who would have prepared that speech for him. So what was Camillo hoping to gain? Well, I tell you, mine Baba, I don't know if the minions could be so stupid as to accept something as blatant as this. How are you going to justify your integrity? How are you going to justify your decency? How are you going to justify your honesty? Now, after something as blatant like this, where you have read from a prepared speech, come in the public domain and lie to those people who entrusted you to elect you as a member of the House of Parliament. How are you going to justify this lie to those people who did not object when your daddy used nepotism, corruption, and put you as Minister of Finance, while there are more intelligent, more brilliant, and brighter people than you in that party? I speak no less than Suborta Caesar. How are you going to convince these people that you are not a dirty liar and you cannot be trusted? That's a possible, Deborah Bram. Possibly the father write the speech, because we know he lies indiscriminately. He has no sense of moral. He has no sense of value. He would lie for anything at all. And it does not have to benefit him or benefit anyone directly. He would lie just because he can lie. And some of the lies that they tell, it is obvious that they are not going to get away with those lies. It is quite obvious that they're not going to get away with those lies. So why are they, or why would they invest the time and the energy to lie to an entire community? Why would they invest the time to lie to an entire community? Hundreds of thousands of people. It does not make sense. What is there to be benefit? And another thing, I mentioned it earlier. Let me speak about it now. Over the past 11 months, I've been telling the government that they must retrofit a school to be used as a quarantine or an isolation center, so that when an individual is laboratory confirmed COVID-19 positive, he don't have to go back to his home with his family and expose his family to the virus. Right? Retrofit a school, it won't take you nothing. I brought with the attention the Public Works Department. Right? They have a carpentry shop, they could build beds, they could do all the thing. They have the Public Works Department in general that has mason, plumbers, carpenters, electrician. Every kind of skill men you need to do that is right there. So all it will take the government is the money for purchasing of the material to get the job done. That is the real expense. Because all of the other technical the expertise that is needed, they have it already available to them and are already employed. All they have to do is just divert the resources to another area. No. Only to find out that Dr. Friday have also been suggesting the same thing to the government. Now they wait until the laboratory confirmed tests of COVID-19 have gotten so out of hand. So Camillo is now saying he's going to retrofit. And you know what he's doing? He's using the same words that I use. That means he's watching my videos. He's going to retrofit buildings to act as quarantine centers. Right? Only now, when the laboratory confirmed tests have gotten out of hand, you are going to do what intelligent people like myself, Dr. Friday, and Simone Keyser Beach have been advising the government of St. Vincent and Grenadines to do for over 11 months. Why now? Yes, Patricia Young, it does not make sense if you have a pandemic, or in St. Vincent's case, an epidemic that is breaking out in St. Vincent and the Grenadines with the COVID-19 virus. Right? And you want to contain this thing. It's an airborne disease. It's an airborne disease. It goes about in the air. So if I have it and I go into my home and I'm breathing the air that my cousin and nephews and niece are breathing, I am going to be putting it in the air, in the home environment, because it's an airborne disease. And if I have it, when I breathe out, the possibility is at 90-80% that the viruses will leave my body when I exhale, when I sneeze. You understand? When I wipe my nose and I may forget to sanitize my hands. So you cannot be sending people back to their homes when they have been laboratory confirmed and thinking that this is not a new development. Anyone with an ounce of common sense would have already perceived that. But the fools that are sitting in the seats of government in St. Vincent and the Grenadines cannot comprehend the obvious. Why can't they comprehend the obvious? People, are these the type of people who wants to represent us? Are these eligible for representing the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines? Is that why they're stealing the government? To show how incompetent they are? Huh? It absolutely does not make sense that they would steal a job that they cannot do. What sense does it make? It makes no sense whatsoever. Right? People, you're sharing this video. I went through all kind of hours to listen to get all of this information for you. I hope you're sharing it so that all people could hear the information that I'm presenting. Right? I hope you're sharing it. Hours of research and listening to these things to pick up on these lies. More to come, people. But I bring it all one time because I don't want to overwhelm you. There is more to come. You understand? So, I don't know what next for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Minister of Finance that's what it says. But guess what? They spent $3 million to build a quarantine center. And up to today, they could never tell you how many people this quarantine center could hold. And they're saying they're building this quarantine center for people who are seriously ill from COVID-19. Yet, the chief medical officer came on national media and on social media and other platforms and told us that there were 4 people who were ill with COVID-19 and they were being housed at the hospital. Why won't they send to this quarantine center that they built to house and to accommodate people that found themselves in such a situation? Why they didn't send them there? What is this? Is this quarantine center what, a palace? Just in case Ralph Gonsalves becomes sick from COVID-19, they send him there? Why, when these people, Justina Pompey, they say came down with it? What? Why didn't send Justina, the old man, and the people who had, what they say? Chief medical officer said they had COVID-19 related pneumonia. Why they didn't send them to this quarantine center that they invested $3 million to build? Why they didn't send them to it? Right? Why were they housing them in the Kingston General Hospital? And the question still remains, how many individual this $3 million quarantine center can house at any one time? How many rooms is in this $3 million quarantine center? How many rooms? How many people can it hold? They're not going to tell you these things. You understand? I've been asking over and over again, have anyone seen this quarantine center? Where is it located? Where is this quarantine center located? No one seems to know. People, it's time that you all stand up. Another thing, now that the virus is spreading big time, Ralph Gonsalves and them is trying to open back the school. Now that the virus is spreading big time, they are trying to open back the school. Right? Now that it's getting out of hand, now that it's spreading in the community, because they have facilitated the spread of this virus in St. Vincent and the Grenadines by sending laboratory confirmed COVID-19 test victims back to their home, into the household, back into their communities. What do you expect? What do you expect? Not enough equipment there? I don't know. Patricia, if you have something, you have to bring me up to date. Not enough equipment? I don't know what is the case there. But my people, I will say this. I'll be back tomorrow on a spiritual note to talk about the Most High only. Tomorrow. Right? But Monday, we're going to get back into the commerce of St. Vincent politics and the incompetence of Ralph Gonsalves, his son, and the bunch of people that he have in the cabinet. The money could have built a big center. They had enough money to do that. You understand? And guess what? The monies for these things did not come out out of the government coffers. It's not our taxpayers' money that was responsible for providing these things. These things were provided from donor countries, agencies, and other institutions, right? So when they talk about, here they're bragging about these things and COVID-19 tests and vaccines, all of these things were given to us. PAHO and all of these other things provided, because guess what? Our country is so cash-strapped that we couldn't afford. We couldn't afford vaccine. We cannot afford the tests. You understand? They are paying 48% of the revenue collected by the government to service the loans that they have with other countries and other institutions. So we couldn't really afford to deal it. Thanks to the donor countries, donor agencies, and United Nations organizations like PAHO and other things, they are who was responsible for giving us the finances to take care of these needs that we currently have. But you know, these people are so dishonest and greedy. They are dipping their hands into the monies that was sent to be spent on aiding the community from having an epidemic in this pandemic era, right? We have not reached epidemic state in St. Vincent and the Grenadines yet. But if they continue like this, it may just very well reach epidemic. My people, share this video, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Come by tomorrow, and let us talk about the Most High. About a Monday, I'll be back with some fresh new information. Let us thank the Most High for His knowledge, understanding, for the knowledge, the understanding, and the wisdom the Most High have bestowed upon me so freely. And I thank the Most High for giving me the opportunity, to share the knowledge, the understanding, the wisdom with my people, the people who I love dearly, the people who I love tremendously. You understand? My people, Ricardo Watson, and the others who are there. I thank you for coming by. Deborah Byam, Patricia Young, Mind Barber, Natasha DeBrung, Keith Jack, and all who came by today, Ingrid Kane, and all who came by today just to keep my company. Monica Speckman Brooker, I didn't forget you. Ruthlyn Noel, thanks for coming by. And all the others who didn't check in, I thank you for coming by. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for listening to me. But most of all, I thank you for sharing the video. I'll talk to you on the flip side of today.